Hey everyone, we're going to solve the different ways to add parentheses problem on LeetCode. The description, we're given a string of numbers and operators. We return all possible results from computing the different ways to group numbers and operators. The valid operators are plus, minus, and multiplication. So examples were given: 2 minus 1 minus 1 gives 0 and 2. So basically they group this 2 and minus 1 together, minus 1 leaves 0, and then 2 is off by itself, 1 minus 1 are grouped together, which leaves 2 minus 0, 2. And similarly down here with this example. Alright, so once again, if you've been watching these videos for a little while, I used to write the code while I was talking it through it. Figured that's just a waste of time, so we'll just go through the solution here and talk about how it works. So here's the function LeetCode gives you called diffways to compute. You get a string as input. We'll get to that in a minute because that's obviously going to really work. I have a couple helper functions that I've written. So here's this function called apply. It takes in a left and a right as integers and an operator, and it basically just performs the operation of plus, minus, times, and then divide. The only reason I need to write this is our operator's a character, so we needed something where it could actually apply it to two different integers. So we have that as a helper. Down here, find next operator. It takes the input string and a index to start in the string, and it just finds the index of the next operator, plus, minus, times, or divide. And then that uses is operator, just checks to see if a character is the plus symbol, minus, times, or divide, any of those. So those are the helpers that are used through this. And now let's talk about the actual function doing the work up here. Diffways to compute the string. So when you first look at this problem, it's kind of difficult to come up with different approaches. When I was working it, I started approaching the problem in different ways and had a difficult time getting anything to really work. So I started thinking recursively and really kind of divide across the solution. So whenever you have a solution like this where you're trying to come up with different ways to do things, the left-hand recursion will be helpful. So what do we do to start this recursion off? Well, here's the answer that we're going to return. It's just a new array list. If we're getting something that's null or is of length 0, we'll just return an empty list. And here we find the divider. This gets the first index of the first operator in the string. Okay? So it finds the first operator from the start of the string. Now right here, this basically says, is there a divider in the string? So if divider is input.length, so it basically did not find an operator in the string, then that must mean that the entire string is just a number. So the answer, the only way that we can do this is just that one number. So we parse out that integer, we add it to the list, and then just return it. There's just one possible way. There's no operator in the string, so there's only one way to do it. It's just the one number. If it's not, if we get down here, we have a non-empty string, and we found an operator in it. So what we do is we pull that operator out here, and then this is where the divide and conquer comes in. Left nums and right nums are the solutions for recursively solving the substring to the left of the divider, to the left of the operator that we pulled out, and the ways to solve the substring to the right of the operator that we pulled out. Okay? So when this is over, we'll recursively solve the left and the right substrings, and those will be stored in this list of integers. And then all we have to do from there is go through each of those numbers and apply the operator that divides the two strings to each number and add each of those to our list. And then we just find the next operator. Once we can't find another operator, we're done and we return the answer. So it might not be super clear the way that it's working, but if you just look at this example over here on the left, it makes a little sense. So the first operator we find is this multiplication, right? So we're going to recursively solve the left and the right substrings. In this case, left nums will just have a 2 in it, and right nums will have Well, we could group 4 and 5 together. That'd be 20. And then 3 minus 20 is negative 17. So it'll have negative 17 in it. And then if we group 3 and minus 4 together, that gives us minus 1 times 5 is minus 5. So it'll have negative 17 and minus 5. And then what it'll do is go through each number in left, which is just 2, and each number in right, which is negative 17 and negative 5, and apply the divider, which is this multiplication symbol, or the operator that divides those two substrings, okay? And we add each of those to our list, and then we find the next operator, which is this minus right here, okay? We recursively solve each of these, and how many ways are there to do this? Well, there's just one. This left nums will have 6, right? Right nums will have 20, and then apply the subtraction to them, and you get minus 14. Right here. And then we just keep going through it like that. So when you look at the examples, it starts making more sense. So, well, this is really an example of how to define our business problems. Come to the best